All right, so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into Vantage Plus's crypto analysis. And this one just came out today, January 27th, 2025. So it's really fresh off the press. And we're going to be focusing on, the big names. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple,
Yeah.
and Solana.
Yeah, and there's some really interesting stuff in there. Overall, the market is looking kind of mixed right now, a little bit of uncertainty in the air, but there's some good news. The US dollar is weakening, and that actually tends to be good for crypto, just like we're seeing it help the stock market a little bit, so that's a potential tailwind for crypto. But then, on the other hand, there's this kind of crazy thing happening with Solana. We'll get into that a little bit more, but it involves a meme coin and Donald Trump.
Oh, okay, you've definitely piqued my interest now. But before we get to meme coins and Donald Trump, could you just give us a sense of, what's the overall market feeling right now?
Yeah, definitely. So like I said, there is some uncertainty, which, that's not unusual for crypto. But the interesting thing is that weak dollar we were talking about, that could actually be a good thing.
So a weak dollar helps crypto. Seems kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah, I know. But it actually makes sense. When the dollar is weak, investors, they start looking for other places to put their money, assets that might give them better returns. And crypto, with its potential for big growth, often fits that bill. Plus, let's be honest, a weak dollar can sometimes be a sign of, economic trouble, and some investors, they see crypto as a safe haven during those times.
Okay, so weak dollar could be a positive for crypto. But what about stuff happening within the crypto world itself? Are there any, surprising trends or anything like that?
Yeah, actually there is. It's this whole thing with meme coins, and specifically one that's tied to Donald Trump, and it's actually having a big impact on Solana.
Hold on. A Trump meme coin is impacting Solana.
It sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
But it's all about the trading. You've got all these traders jumping in and out of positions on this meme coin, and they need a stable coin to do that quickly, so they're using USDC. And all this trading, it's happening on Meteora, which is a decentralized exchange built on the Solana blockchain.
So Solana is basically benefiting from all this meme coin trading because it's a platform of choice.
Exactly. Solana is super fast, and the transaction costs are incredibly low, so it's perfect for this kind of rapid fire trading. Those traders can execute trades almost instantly and capitalize on all those meme coin price swings. Plus, those low fees mean they can make a lot of small profitable trades that they just wouldn't be able to do on more expensive blockchains.
That's wild. So do you think this is a fundamental shift in how people see Solana? Or is this just a temporary meme coin fueled frenzy?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? I mean, meme coins are definitely a factor. But at the end of the day, these cryptos, they're still driven by the underlying technicals.
Yeah.
So let's dive into those charts, starting with the king, Bitcoin.
Okay, let's do it. What's the latest on Bitcoin?
So as of today, January 27th, Bitcoin is trading at $104,800. It has slowed down a little bit after that big run-up we saw, but it's still comfortably above that $100,000 mark, which is, psychologically significant, and it's a bullish sign.
But with all this talk of a correction coming, are you really confident in Bitcoin's short-term outlook?
Well, to see a real surge, Bitcoin needs to break through that resistance level at $110,000. If it can get above that, then the next target could be $120,000. But on the flip side, if it dips below $95,000, things could get a bit shaky. We might see it retest its 50-day moving average, which could be a sign of a trend reversal.
So Bitcoin's at a crossroads.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Ethereum. What's happening there?
Okay, so Ethereum is currently at $3,305, but it's been lagging behind Bitcoin. And the monthly chart is actually hinting at a potential downturn.
Really? What makes you say that?
Well, it seems like Ethereum is stuck below a major resistance level at $4,000. If it can't break through that, we might see it drop down to the rising trend line and potentially even to the 50-day moving average, which is around $2,250.
So that $4,000 level, it's like a make or break point for Ethereum. Now let's talk about Ripple. It's been making a lot of headlines lately, especially after Trump's re-election. What's the latest on XRP?
Ripple is currently at 3.1175. It did surge after Trump's re-election, but since then it's kind of settled into a sideways pattern.
So is it stuck in limbo? Or is there potential for another breakout?
Well, a breakout above 3.35 could signal a renewed upward trend. And there's this interesting triangle pattern on the daily chart that suggests there's potential for further growth.
Okay, but is there anything that might be holding Ripple back?
Well, if we look at the bigger picture,
Yeah.
the long-term monthly chart shows that Ripple has made some significant gains since its breakout in November. So the question is a correction on the horizon?
Okay, Good point. And finally, let's circle back to Solana. You mentioned earlier that it's at a critical point. What's going on there?
Right, so Solana is currently trading at $250, which is right at a major resistance level.
And with the market being so uncertain, I imagine a breakout might take a while.
Yeah, it could, but there's a lot of positive sentiment around Solana, especially after that strong candlestick pattern we saw in the third week of January. If it can break through that resistance, we could see it surge towards $320. It's definitely one to watch.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Why don't we take a quick break, and then we'll come back and wrap things up.
So we were talking about all these different cryptos, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Solana. Some of them are looking pretty good, others not so much. But for people who are, maybe new to crypto, what are some of the key takeaways they should keep in mind?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, especially when you see these big price moves. But it's important to remember to look at the bigger picture.
Exactly. Don't just blindly follow the charts. You need to consider the broader economic context.
Like that weakening dollar we were talking about.
Exactly. That's a big factor. And also remember that psychology plays a huge role in the markets.
Yeah, like those psychological barriers, where a certain price level just seems to hold everything back.
Right. Those barriers can be really powerful. And then you have these unexpected events, like meme coins suddenly influencing Solana.
Yeah, who would have thought that Donald Trump's name would be driving demand for stable coins?
It just goes to show that you have to stay nimble in the crypto world. Things can change very quickly.
So given everything we've discussed, which cryptos do you think have the most potential right now?
Well, it's tough to say for sure, but I'm keeping a close eye on Solana and Ripple.
What is it about those two?
Solana has a lot of positive sentiment around it. If it can break through that $250 resistance level, it could really take off.
And what about Ripple?
Well, that triangle pattern on the daily chart is interesting. A breakout above 3.35 could signal a new upward trend, but remember what we said about potential corrections? Ripple has had a good run lately, so a pullback wouldn't be surprising.
So it's all about managing risk.
Exactly.
What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out in crypto?
Well, first of all, don't be afraid to start small. You don't need a lot of money to get started. There are platforms that let you buy fractions of Bitcoin or other cryptos.
And the crypto market is open 24/7.
Right, so you can trade whenever you want.
So what's the most important thing for new crypto investors?
I would say, have fun. Crypto is an exciting space with so much potential.
So folks, we've come to the end of our deep dive into the crypto market. But before we sign off, we want to leave you with a question. Given everything we've talked about today, which crypto do you think is poised for the biggest breakout?
Yeah, it's a tough one. You've got Bitcoin, holding strong above 100,000, but facing resistance. Ethereum might be heading for a downturn, or maybe it breaks out. And then you've got Ripple and Solana, each with their own, potential paths.
It really is. And that's what makes crypto so interesting. You just never know what's going to happen. Like, who could have predicted that a Trump meme coin would be pumping up Solana?
Right. I guess that's why they call it a meme. Exactly. So my advice is stay curious.
Yeah.
Do your own research. And don't be afraid to explore different parts of the market.
Yeah, you never know. You might find the next big thing.
Exactly.
That's what I love about crypto. There's always something new, always another chance to, ride the wave.
Absolutely.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the crypto market. Until next time.
Happy trading.